Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Daily Star over in the UK says the Ebola, and they say in quotation marks, Ebola outbreak declared amid Black Death comeback, and this virus is untreatable. Health experts, of course, are warning a killer virus that has broken out is untreatable, and the plague continues to spread after making a shock comeback. Listen to this. The outbreak of the deadly disease similar to Ebola, the fatal fever that struck West Africa, has been confirmed in the continent. Marburg, which kills up to 88% of people it strikes, has killed 2 people in Uganda and is now feared to have spread to another 3. A team of experts have scrambled to the Queen District to contain the virus and fears it will become a serious epidemic. The virus is in the same family as Ebola and causes bleeding, fever, vomiting, and diarrhea. It can be spread through bites from either fruit bats or monkeys and can be passed from human to human through semen and blood. However, it can also be passed through coming into contact with contaminated clothing and bed sheets, which, of course, you know, over in Africa, especially in a lot of the remote regions, hygiene is virtually non-existent. So if there's no hygiene, chances are you're going to see this spread a lot easier. So not only do we have the plague going in 9 countries in Africa, but we also now have Marburg, the Marburg virus that is very similar to Ebola, and it is now spread in 2 countries in Africa and possibly 3 more. There's currently no treatment for this disease, but according to local reports, the 2 people who died of Marburg recently were brother and sister. But fears have soared after it emerged another 3 are suspected of contracting the disease, one of whom has disappeared after refusing to go to the hospital. And amid more worrying aspects of this, it's feared several hundred people have come into contact with the 5 victims. Dr. Diane Atwine, Uganda's health ministry permanent secretary, said this, quote, "At the moment, we don't know if there are other people apart from the dead who have contracted the disease." She said health experts are still investigating in addition to sensitizing the population about the dangers of Marburg, and we call for public vigilance. And of course, the outbreak comes just weeks after the Black Death has been spreading fast across Africa after taking root in Madagascar. That's why I say, folks, we never know what the next pandemic is going to be. However, interesting that we now have 2 distinct diseases in play, one bacterial, one viral, both virtually untreatable. You can treat the plague with antibiotics, but this form, the pneumonic plague, the problem with this is if you don't catch it within 24 hours of the onset of symptoms, then you end up dying. Pneumonic plague is extremely dangerous and almost always deadly. Same with Marburg. Again, very similar to Ebola. And now we have these 2 diseases in play. And again, because of this global economy that we have, because travel has exploded across the globe over the last 30 years, we're ripe now more than ever for a pandemic. And that's not to strike fear in anybody's hearts. It just simply is what it is. You know, every so often, humanity goes through these things. And the better prepared we are, the more likely it is that we'll survive an outbreak. The biggest thing that I can say as far as advice is concerned is pay attention. Pay attention and remember, throughout all of our modern history, especially here in the United States, what we've witnessed over the course of the last 100 years is you can't put a value on hygiene. It is so important that you maintain proper hygiene for yourself and for your family to avoid coming into contact with this. And hygiene, of course, we talk about the human body and maintaining it, but also your living conditions. If, for example, you have a mice problem or a mouse problem in your house, you might want to think about getting it taken care of. Because if plague becomes a problem or it starts to spread globally, of course, there's more than one type of plague. You've got the pneumonic plague that spreads through the air, through coughs and sneezes and things of that nature. But you also have the bubonic plague, which is spread through fleas and rat bites and rodents, vermin, things like that. So, again, another thing now on our radar, we got Marburg in Africa, we've got the plague going on, and we're entering flu season. So, hey, time to batten down the hatches, folks. It may end up being a bumpy ride. It may not be anything. Best to be prepared. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. # wake the flock up. Have a great day, everyone.